What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is in audio form. Epictastic Joshua. I talk movies, TV, music, and anime. My name is Joshua Drake, and I'm giving you guys my review of Godzilla Minus One. This is a 2023 Kaiju film produced by Toho Studios and written, directed, and visual effects by Takashi Yamazaki. And the film stars Ryonoshi Kamiki, Minami Hanabe, Yuki Yamada, Monakata Aoki, Hataka Yoshiaka, Sakura Ando, and Kurano Tsuki Sakazi. Minus One follows a post-war Japan as we see it barely recovering from the Second World War when the galactic peril emerges off the coast of Tokyo. And Koichi, a deserter traumatized by his first confrontation with Godzilla, sees this opportunity to reconduct himself during the war. I was actually planning to review this one back last year, but since things didn't get worked out and I didn't want to freaking exhaust myself trying to talk about every single new release that came out last year, I just figured I moved it until a later date. And with this year being the year that this is his 70-year anniversary, and also the first time he's won an Academy Award, the G-Man, and with it being one of the most successful films in the Godzilla franchise overall, and with this being the 33rd movie from him, the 5th in the Revival era, and the 37th movie overall, counting Godzilla vs. Kong, I figured this is a great opportunity for me to talk about him. And let me just say, the hype for this movie last year was all worth it. Easily, the first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about the effects. Easily, this is the thing that gets the most appreciation here, and I just want to say one thing. This movie has a $10 to $12 million budget, and for that budget, you would think for a movie like this, it would look cheap as hell, like an Asylum movie, but this shows that you can do so much with so very little and still make something pretty effective. Now, I know studios are probably looking at this and being like, well, they can do better, but this could actually, hear me out on this. This is something where future movies, like in a big franchise or a standalone film, you don't put some effort, make the spectacle look great, don't make it look cheap, and don't make it look like an Asylum movie. And it's crazy to me, this costs way less than half of some of these bigger movies, but this is a film that it really does do exactly what it's out to do from a visual effects standpoint. So obviously I needed to point those effects. The action scenes, the look of Godzilla, the visual design of the film looks fantastic. I'll give it that. It takes everything that we know about Godzilla and it puts its own spin on it. You can tell that Takashi, I'll call him that because I don't want to butcher his name, Takashi Yamazaki, he was able to put his own take on it. You see the chaos and destructive force that Japan is thrust into constantly, and you do cover a lot of that, but it also manages to talk about fear and agony every time one of these moments pops up, because you're so engrossed into the story, and I really cared about the story and themes here. Talking about the post-traumatic stress disorder and survivor's guilt is very well explored with these human characters. You forget about how the reptile you're expected to see, but it's a great showcase of using the minimalistic filmmaking that you have. Basically, less is more, which when people say less is more, including my friend, it can go either way. It can either less effort or less budget. But I also appreciate the fact that Toho and they allowed this director to just tell his story in a 2 hour and 5 minute runtime without any interference, without studio mandating. And that's the thing I really must appreciate when it comes to a movie like this, or even something recently like Furiosa and such, which I will do a review of. Because I am tired of going through the process of watching a movie that feels studio mandated and it feels studio interfered. I know you have to compromise in order for things to work, but that doesn't always mean you have to go and hack into these filmmakers' movies. But this one here, I just really thought the story was fantastic, and I really thought the story was emotional, and it was beautiful. Great characters I really cared for, and the Godzilla action here, when it's good, it is glorious here. The pace of the movie never lets you down, and you're just sitting there in awe, and you're sitting there basically caring about what's going on in this. And this is made with people with love for the character in Japan. Don't get me wrong, us Americans, we love Godzilla, but it just goes to show you when it comes to the guys here, they know exactly what they're doing. And there's moments where you almost want to get emotionally cried, but this is a great thing that really does do something very good. And it also is a great homage and a very beautiful reimagining here. Acting wise, I will say from everyone is great. All of the Japanese actors are great. They will be listed here in the description box, but I think the standouts for me were Ryunosuke Kamiki, Minabe Hamabi, and Munetaka Aoki. Cinematography wise by Kozo Shibazaki, editing by Ryu Majima, and the music by Naoki Soto. All of that was great. But it's really, like I said, going back to the performances here are what sells this. I really enjoyed the actors here and the performances, and despite this being Japanese, I really liked the way they played into this type of story. Also, I have to give immense credit into what this movie sets out to do in terms of its social commentary. And the social commentary here about its themes, about guilt and PTSD and war and such, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was one of my favorite parts of the here. And I just sat there really immersed and really invested into this story, into these characters. And just so much going on here that you're watching this is heartbreaking, it's devastating. And post-release, this movie has had great press. It was a global phenomenon with post-release. A lot of tributes to it in Godzilla and Kong the New Empire, the second highest grossing film of 2024 with him and King Kong. So much media recognition, and it is all for the better. And ranked on so many lists, and the way they choose to leave it up to this, they leave it up for more of the sequel, but they want to take their time with it. But they really did put so much effort into it, and when you put effort into this, there is so much that happens. Japanese popular culture had a massive swing with The Boy and the Heron, which I didn't see. I heard a bit of a mixed reaction. Some good, some people say it was just meh. You had One Piece, and then you had Shogun recently. So the Japanese brand is pretty strong here. And for that, you get a lot of immense credibility to that. When you're able to propel the pop culture phenomenon with a movie like this and take risks, which we need more of that with our Hollywood movies today, even with something that is a massive budget or a massive story, when you take risk like that for Japan or America or the United Kingdom or Scotland or Irish or any country, there is always great results that will reside you along the way, even if it's not always the best. And that is the thing I really do admire when it comes to this film, is that they took so many risks and they went at it. They really put their all into it, and they worked their asses off to make a great Godzilla movie. Again, just $10 to $12 million. That's an accomplishment. That the creator and such, when you have smaller budgets like this, or a $100 million budget or so, you can always make your stuff look good. It's just how you do it. You don't always have to use a lot of CG, miniatures, matte paintings, motion capture, animatronics. There's so much effects work that you can use to your advantage, and we do need to see a lot of these movies, whether it's Japan or America or wherever, be willing to put as much to use with effects. But just the G-Man, is just great to be a Godzilla fan, and the fact that taking inspiration from previous Godzilla movies with the script, and it felt like a Spielberg movie and a Hayao Miyazaki movie combined, and that is what I really enjoyed about it. I don't have any issues when it comes to this. I can see some people being bored by this for non-Godzilla fans or non-Kaiju fans or non-foreign film fans, but I sat there and I was just really enthralled into the story and to what this movie gave me as a casual Godzilla fan who's seen all the movies. In conclusion, Godzilla Minus One is an amazing film. You never underestimate the power of the G-Man, because 70 years later, Godzilla still packs a punch. After Shin Godzilla, the legendary creation of Toho proves that he can still pack a punch and not give a shit about cancel culture and such. Great story, great themes about guilt and loss and PTSD, social commentary, while also having great characters to love and great development for them. A great pace at 2 hours and 5 minutes, some good Godzilla action, moments where this movie feels like a horror film, and everything from a filmmaking standpoint through sound, writing, cinematography, set work is just immaculate. If you have not seen Godzilla Minus One, this is on streaming services now. It will be coming to physical media pretty damn soon. I recommend you watch this. What a fantastic Godzilla film. Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. If you want to see more, my channel icon is up here. If you want to see more content from me, all my social medias are right here in this end card. I will also leave a playlist and a video here for you to see what the channel is about. As always, acknowledge me, stay epictastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.